Hey guys, welcome back to another recap video. The zombie apocalypse genre has seen an increase in popularity thanks to the pandemic. So today I'm going to be covering the 2021 reboot to the Resident Evil franchise. Welcome to Raccoon City. As always, a spoiler alert is in full effect. Proceed with caution. Alright, let's get on with it. The movie starts off in the Raccoon City orphanage, where a little girl named Claire is visited by a deformed girl. The girl is barely able to speak and vanishes after Claire asks her some more information. She wakes up her brother Chris to tell him about it, but he doesn't believe her and tells her to go back to sleep before they get caught by Dr. William Birkin, who is also an employee of the Umbrella Corporation. Claire is still curious about the girl and wanders off inside the orphanage. After some looking around, she finds the girl and learns that her name is Lisa. Claire wants to know where she lives, but she just mentions that she's from below and disappears. Dr. William shows up asking what she's doing there, and Chris arrives in time to tell him that she was just sleepwalking again. William accepts the excuse and tells them to go back to bed. However, Lisa returns and supposedly attacks Claire. This turns out to be a dream, and Claire is a grown woman now. She's hitched a ride to reach Raccoon City so that she can visit Chris. The driver hits a woman on their way and he begins to panic, but this woman is actually a zombie and walks away without them noticing. The driver's dog licks the blood on the road and they resume their journey. We learn that Raccoon City is a ghost town now that the Umbrella Corporation has abandoned it and only the poor residents remain. We're now introduced to Leon, who's a rookie cop and has been transferred to the Raccoon City Police Department because he accidentally shot his previous partner in the ass. He is ridiculed by other cops at the dinner table because of this. Other members of the RPD present with him include Jill Valentine, Albert Wesker, and Richard Aiken. Jill and the others leave, but Leon notices that the owner's eyes are bleeding before he makes his exit. Claire gets dropped off and the dog becomes infected, thus transforming into a zombie right after she gets out of the truck. It bites the driver, but he doesn't take it very seriously. Claire visits Chris's house and notices a very scary looking lady with her kid next door. She gets creeped out, so she breaks in and meets her brother. He's still upset that she abandoned him all those years ago, but she doesn't have time for that and tells him that the water in the city has been poisoned, due to which everyone has been falling sick. She shows him a video of a resident named Ben who talks about this issue, but Chris doesn't believe it and he gets ready for work. He's also a cop at the RPD. Meanwhile, Dr. William gets a call informing him that Raccoon City is about to be destroyed. He tells his wife Annette and daughter Sherry to get ready to leave. The city alarm sounds, and it advises everyone to stay at home and not step out. Chris leaves regardless, and Claire wonders why she hasn't fallen sick yet like the other residents. She notices the same balding woman painting words with her blood outside, and her son sneaks inside the house. The distraction allows the woman to break in and attack Claire, but she manages to get away on a bike. Chris and the other cops discuss what's going on, and they're briefed by Chris Brian Irons. He tells them that Bravo team has gone missing after investigating the Spencer mansion in the nearby forest. The team, along with their pilot, Brad Vickers, decides to fly out in their chopper to go look for them. However, Wesker gets a pager update saying that Raccoon City will be destroyed at 6 AM, and he hides this information away from the others. Claire rides towards the police station and crosses Williams and his family on the way. It turns out that Williams was going to experiment on her when she was a child, and she managed to escape, thus abandoning Chris in the process. The truck driver also has become infected now, and he crashes his vehicle next to the police station, after which it explodes. He sets himself on fire, but it doesn't hurt him. So he enters the station and almost attacks Leon, but Irons shoots him down just in time. He reveals that the phone lines are dead and leaves Leon in charge of the station in order to make his way out of the city. Meanwhile, Chris and the others spot the broken down car in the forest. They investigate the scene and follow the trail to the Spencer mansion. The Bravo team is still missing, so they split up and try and look for their friends. Irons tries to escape the city, but it has been sealed off and the Umbrella Corporation has hired assassins to guard the gates. They shoot at Irons, so he drives away and returns to the police station. But then he's attacked by the zombie dog and gets cornered. Luckily, Claire shows up and rescues him by killing the dog with a fire extinguisher. Leon then tries to figure out a way to contact Chris so they can escape using the chopper. Back at the mansion, Chris and Richard come across a horde of zombies, and Richard gets killed while Chris struggles to survive. A zombie attacks Vickers while he's waiting, and this causes him to start the helicopter by accident. Wesker uses the code on his pager to open up a secret entrance, but the chopper crashes right into the mansion at that time. Back at the station, Leon and Claire equip themselves with weapons, but they hear a strange noise coming from the basement. Leon inspects it and finds Ben locked up next to a resident who is transforming into a zombie. Ben grabs Leon's gun and tells him about the T-virus and the G-virus. He also reveals that the cops haven't fallen sick yet because of an injection that they'd received as part of their health program. He threatens Leon to break him out, but the rookie takes too much time to open the locks, and the zombie kills Ben just as the door is opened. It attacks Leon and is about to kill him as well, but Claire saves him by shooting it down. However, she tells him to get his act together if he wants to survive. Back at the mansion, we see that Jill was able to save Wesker's life, but he tells her that he's working for an unidentified third party, and his mission is to steal the G-virus that Williams has created. He saves Jill from a zombie and then returns the favor by abandoning her and running off into the secret passage. The police station gets overrun with zombies, so Claire, Leon, and Irons get out of there and head to the orphanage because Irons knows that there's a passageway to the Spencer mansion from there. Leon comes across Lisa, who tries to warn him about a liquor monster, but he doesn't understand what she says. It's too late and the liquor kills Irons immediately. It attacks the others and latches onto Leon, but Lisa shows up and kills it after a brief struggle. She recognizes Claire and leads them to a passageway to which she has the keys to. She hands them over to Claire and bids them farewell. Meanwhile, Chris continues to fight through a bunch of zombies, but he runs out of ammo and gets cornered. Jill shows up and rescues him, after which she tells him about Wesker's betrayal. Claire and Leon come across a secret lab. They check it out, and some tapes and files show up on how Umbrella was experimenting on kids from the orphanage to turn them into bioweapons. Wesker finds his way into Williams' lab and tells him to hand over his vials. Williams refuses and gets into a shootout with him. Wesker then ends up killing him and his wife in the process while Sherry hides. He doesn't realize that Williams has injected himself with the G-virus before dying, and he looks for Sherry. She confronts him and he's about to shoot her, but then Jill and Chris show up and shoot him instead. In his dying moments, Wesker apologizes to his crew and he tells them about an underground train tunnel that will escort them to safety before Raccoon City gets blown up. However, as Chris, Jill, and Sherry make their way to the tunnel, Williams begins his transformation and turns into a mutated monster. He searches for Chris and tries to bring him out by taunting him about how he should have experimented on him and his sister. He eventually finds him and they get into a fight, but Chris is no match for the zombie monster. Williams starts to choke him, and then Claire shows up and shoots him with a shotgun. Chris finishes the job by shooting him in the head, and the survivors make their way to the train. But then we see that Williams has started to mutate again, and he's now turned into an even larger zombie monster. Jill and Leon start the train and the crew makes its way out of the city. However, the shockwaves from the destruction of the mansion are too strong, and the train goes off the rails in the process. This allows the newly mutated Williams to break in, and he attacks Claire. Chris shoots at him, but the bullets are not very effective. Claire manages to break free, and Leon shows up just in time with a rocket launcher. He fires it at the monster and kills him for good. At the end of all the destruction, a report by the Umbrella Corporation states that there were no survivors. But then we see Chris, Claire, Jill, Leon, and Sherry emerge from the tunnel and leave the city behind. In a mid-credit scene, Wesker is shown to have been brought back from the dead as he struggles to get out of a body bag. He's unable to see and is then handed a pair of goggles by a woman named Ada Wong. He asks her what she wants from him, but she just walks away. And there you go, guys. That was Resident Evil Welcome to Raccoon City. It might not have been that much of an improvement from Milo Djokovic's Alice franchise, but it was a lot more faithful to the games, and I'm really excited to see what lies ahead in the sequels. Let me know if you've got any suggestions in the comments, and I'll check them out. Like, share, and subscribe if you're new here, and that way you can keep up with all the content that's coming your way very soon. I'll see you in the next one. Ciao for now.